All right, class, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a really fascinating little component, one that's a real rebel in the world of semiconductors. We're talking about the Zener Diode, the tiny component that regulates our most precious electronics. So let's just dive right in.
You've been there, right? I mean, we all have. You're working on something, the lights flicker for a second, and your heart just stops. You're thinking, oh no, did that little power surge just destroy my laptop? Well, that fear, that's exactly why what we're covering today is so incredibly important.
But before we meet the hero that protects our gadgets, let's just do a quick refresher. We need to go back to a component you should already be pretty familiar with, the standard PN junction diode. You can think of it as the rule-abiding citizen of the electronics world.
So your standard diode, it's basically a one-way street for electricity. If you apply voltage in the forward direction, what we call forward bias, the gate is open and current flows through nice and easy. But try to send that current the other way in reverse bias and bam, the gate slams shut. It blocks the flow. This is the normal, completely expected behavior.
Okay, so now that we remember the rules, let's meet the component that was literally designed to break one of those rules. And it does it for a very, very good reason. It's time to meet our rebel, the Zener Diode.
Now, this definition right here, this is key. Pay attention, especially for your exams. There are two phrases you've got to notice: heavily doped and operate in the breakdown region. That heavy doping, that's the secret sauce. It's what engineers the diode to not just withstand, but to actually work perfectly in a state that would completely destroy a normal diode.
You know, the word breakdown usually sounds like a bad thing, doesn't it? Like a catastrophic failure. But for the Zener diode, this breakdown isn't a bug. It's the most important feature it has. It's a total breakthrough.
And this right here is the whole ballgame. If you hit a normal diode with too much reverse voltage, it's toast, it fails, it's gone forever. But the Zener diode, it's designed for this. It's engineered to not only handle it, but to start conducting a whole lot of current in that reverse direction right at a very specific voltage.
And this is a brilliant way to picture what it does. Imagine voltage is like the water level behind a giant dam. If that water gets too high, the whole dam could fail, right? Well, the Zener diode acts like a precision spillway. It just sits there, doing nothing, until the water hits a very specific height. The moment it does, the spillway opens up and all the extra water, or in our case, excess current, flows away safely, keeping the water level behind the dam perfectly stable.
Okay, everybody, pens down, eyes up here. If you remember only one visual from this entire lecture for your exams, please make it this one. This is the VI characteristic graph for a Zener diode. Understanding this graph is absolutely non-negotiable.
Let's trace this curve together, okay? Over on the right side, in the forward bias region, it acts just like a normal diode. Nothing new there. But now, let's go left into reverse bias. As we increase the reverse voltage, you'll see the line stays almost completely flat. Almost no current is flowing. But then, you hit this sharp corner, this knee in the curve. That point is VZ, the Zener voltage. And look what happens. The current suddenly skyrockets downward, increasing dramatically. That's the breakdown.
This quote really captures the magic of what's happening. Look at how steep that line is on the graph. It's almost vertical. That means the current is changing by a huge amount, but the voltage, it's locked in. It's stuck right there at VZ. It's holding that voltage almost perfectly constant, no matter how much current is trying to rush through.
So for your exam, it really just boils down to these three things. 1. You've got to recognize that sharp vertical drop. 2. You have to be able to label that point as VZ. And 3, the most important part, remember this phrase, in breakdown, voltage is constant. That's the whole principle.
Okay, so we get it. It has this weird behavior. But why is that so useful? Who cares if it can hold a constant voltage? Well, let's get to its main application, and you'll see how this one little trick makes it one of the most important components in electronics, voltage regulation.
So let's just walk through how it works in a circuit. You've got some unstable, maybe spiky voltage coming in. You connect your Zener diode in reverse, and you put it in parallel with the sensitive thing you want to protect. Now, as long as that incoming voltage is below the Zener's rating, say it's a 5.1 volt Zener, nothing happens. But the instant that supply voltage tries to go above 5.1 volts, the Zener just turns on and shunts all that extra current away to ground. It clamps the voltage, making sure your sensitive device never ever sees more than a perfectly steady 5.1 volts. It's like a tiny, simple bodyguard for your circuits.
All right, let's do a super quick recap. 1. Zener diodes are the rebels, they're made to work in reverse. 2, they break down in a very specific voltage, which we call VZ. And 3, this unique trick makes them the perfect tool for voltage regulation. Got it? Excellent.
So there you have it, the Zener Diode, a rule breaker with a really noble cause, to protect the electronics we all rely on every single day. I'll leave you with a question to think about. Now that you understand how this little component works like a voltage bodyguard, what are the most critical circuits in your own life that you would want to protect first? That's all for today. Thanks, everyone.